I'm Christina Howard in probably one of the toughest types of condominiums to find in the city of Toronto, a truly accessible unit. Now this one is up for sale, and if you've got $750,000, it could be yours. But what if you don't have the money needed to make a purchase? Well, the market for accessible housing is really tight, and trying to find a rental even tougher. That's why one woman we spoke with, a young professional, is forced to live in a long-term care home because she can't find another place to call her own.
Housing is a crisis in Toronto, period. I know you are well aware of that. Throw in a disability, it's just absolutely impossible to find anywhere to live.
30-year-old Judy Kerr has been staying at a long-term care home for the past 3 weeks. She earns too much as a banker to qualify for Toronto community housing and too little to buy her own home. Renting? Well, even the experts say it's nearly impossible to find a vacancy.
The majority of calls I get are for people looking for accessible rentals. I get probably 2 calls a week, and there's nothing out there.
Realtor Jeffrey Kerr specializes in accessible housing. He says condos like this one are unique, but accessible rentals are rare.
Maybe I'll come across a rental once every couple months, maybe once every 3 months, that has a roll-in shower and accessibility features.
Judy once had a place like that. She was subletting a room, but as a subletter, she wasn't protected by the Landlord and Tenants Act. So when her roommate wanted her out, she found herself in long-term care. She's been looking for a place, but she hasn't found one that meets her budget and need.
There's no legal obligations. There's nothing written in legislation that mandates them to change it if I'm a suitable tenant.
TCH says it tries to meet accessibility needs and modifies units to do so. And while there are 10,000 units with some accessibility features, only 39 units are fully modified. Jacques LeBlanc says the only reason his listed unit is so accessible is because he paid for it.
I find properties that are pre-construction, and that gives me the opportunity to meet with the architects beforehand.
Jeff says even with a big budget, finding the right spot isn't easy.
It's very tough. There's very few truly accessible condominiums or houses on the market right now.
And for those who don't earn enough to buy, there's no legislation to compel landlords to convert the spaces.
I work, I provide for myself and all of that, and yet there's no laws up to date to allow me to find somewhere to live that isn't through a community housing program.
Now, Judy only has a few more weeks until she will be forced to move out of that home. At this point, she doesn't know where she'll be moving to. Near the St. Lawrence Market, Christina Howard, City News.